world's ending, take a look around. You're tuned into the truth, or at least the truest sound. The path to a better planet, humanity's crescendo. Here's the plan, the regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto.
Welcome to the Regular Man's Manifesto. This is Chase Scribner here with Jay McClintock. You made a noise before your name was even done.
Yeah, got a little eager there. My bad.
And Cody Pyard. Woo? You went with a very silent woo.
Somebody give this dude some cocaine.
All right, cool. So we're doing a top five. Top 5 things to do to get famous.
Or more famous, apparently.
Or more famous comparing to Cody.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do education reform. For our big topic. So let's start off with the top 5. I'll start first, and I think I'm going to be the one who's very rational in this.
Boring.
And we kept it very simple.
Go ahead and catch a pillow for his.
Yep, catch a pillow for mine. Mine are going to be very vague and broad. Okay, number 5, get lucky.
Get lucky.
Yeah, but legitimately be in the right place at the right time. Think of if you're walking down the street and some dude's just like, wow, your face is amazing. I want you to be on this TV commercial or whatever. Maybe you're
Why couldn't that be your answer then? Get on a TV commercial, but it does have an amazing face.
Technically, we do have a podcast all about people getting lucky.
Yeah, there you go.
So they're more famous just because they got lucky.
Yeah, so it can be whatever. Get lucky. Be in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
You could be doing your normal job and someone discovers you. So
couple of people.
So be yourself and you'll be famous.
Yeah.
Smile.
Yeah. All right. Not sure if this one's still a trend or not. I remember this might be in the early 2000s.
Butt chugging.
No, that's still famous. No, this was back in 2000s when it's people with just a shitload of kids who are having all these TV shows. You got the Octomoms, the Duggars, John and Kate plus 8. So I just think you'd have to outdo all of those people, and you'd have to go for 30 kids. And you'd probably take 2 women. So
Okay, I was going to say, is this
like
Genghis Khan style? It's just multiple women? Or
I'm thinking 2 women, 15 apiece.
More people might accept it if it's just one woman.
That's
for
ridiculous.
30 years straight. Just popping out babies.
Just Irish.
I feel like she would die soon. She wouldn't. There's no way that they would live that long.
That's how you fuck somebody to death.
Well, if she dies...
Didn't our president fuck somebody to death?
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson fucked his wife to death.
He's laying it down.
Laying the dick down.
She kept almost dying from all these pregnancies, and then he just kept re-impregnating her until she finally died.
His pull-out game is super weak.
And he was like, oh, so sad, and then married her half-sister. Or didn't marry her, impregnated her half-sister.
And then banged all of his nannies and everything. Yeah. Everybody that worked for him.
So the half-sister
was a sex fiend.
His slave half-sister of his dead wife who he fucked to death. Sally Hemings. Thomas
that sounds
Jefferson.
like it should be a...
That's one of those
the title of a book.
That should be a t-shirt. We should sell that as a t-shirt.
Yeah. It'd be like Thomas Jefferson with a thug life, glasses over, and he just fucked my wife to death.
Smoking a cigarette.
Alright.
My number 5. Become president. You instantly become world famous.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah,
I think you're famous before that?
You are famous before, but, think about, Bernie Sanders.
No one knew who Bernie Sanders was. People did know who he was.
Yeah.
But
not out of his state.
Yeah, he wasn't on the big stage yet.
Yeah, now,
that's the big
stage.
He
didn't even make it all the way, and he's famous as fuck now.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, I would say most people in other countries aren't particularly aware of him.
Bernie?
Yeah.
Courtney just went to Thailand, and everybody was asking her, why not Bernie?
Really?
Yeah.
Alright.
All I know is when I was in Ireland, everybody
was rooting for Bernie.
Everyone was like, what are you going to do if Trump wins? What's going to happen to your country? And I said, I don't fucking know, dude. And they're like, well, you're fucked. And I'm just like, and then now I'm sitting here thinking holy shit. So, yeah.
Should have planned for this.
Yeah, Ireland punched me right in the face while I was there. Alrighty. My number 2 is going to be...
Number 4.
4. Good job. Be born famous. So you have famous parents or whatever, you're the kid of Bernie Sanders, I'm assuming you're going to be pretty famous, man.
Batman.
Yeah, so just be more famous. Be born...
Be born a Hilton.
Yeah. Plus, it would also depend on, like, what your... Like, because you could be famous in, like, your city. You can be famous in, like, the world. You can be famous in,
That's
like,
true,
the
yeah.
I
country.
think we're talking mainly about national fame here.
Okay, so national fame, yeah. So you could be rich and be famous pretty easily.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay.
And most likely, if you're born into fame, you're already wealthy. There's not too many
It's like being-
famous poor people.
It's like being born into royalty.
Yeah.
You're automatically.
Yeah,
You're
you
good.
really can't be famous and poor.
Well,
Or you're a fucking moron.
Unless you
Mike
had the
Tyson.
fame and then you just like lose it all.
Yeah.
But
We're
still,
looking at you, Mikey.
and
Mike
that way
Tyson.
you
he's
just
still
don't
crushing
have-
the game, though, dude.
You still have a shit ton of money. It's just you
I
don't
just-
have as much as you used
I
to.
just watched Mike Tyson knockout videos yesterday for 20 minutes. And
They're
they're amazing.
spectacular. I've watched them like
They're
6 times.
amazing.
They
He
never get
is.
old.
It is.
I haven't seen this.
Are you
Oh
kidding
my
me?
God.
Watch him knock people out. It's beautiful.
First rounders, just
It's
constantly.
beautiful.
We had this big argument about like.
I don't think I would be. I don't think I would do it.
Take a
What?
punch.
I would not take a punch. There's no way.
No, you're getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like joking around on like he was like a guest on like a NFL show, and they were like, Mike Tyson's teaching you how to box, and he was like kind of just joking around with this bag, you know, and he's like, yeah, you give it a nice jab, and then like he threw like a hook, and this bag moved back like 2 feet, and he was like just like ha ha ha, and then so Brian Urlacher, who's like 6'5" and 250 pounds. Goes up and he's like, jab, jab, hit. Dude, thing doesn't move at all. He goes, no, you gotta have like more like this. And he does it again. And everyone's like, okay, dude, like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
You got the perfect form.
And
you
this
got
is
the
him
muscle.
as like an old man, you
Yeah.
know? Like, he's like, whatever. He's probably in his 40s. 40.
This
or-
happened recently.
I don't know if it was recently, but it was fucking. Dude,
Dude,
can. I would
Those
not want to be
videos,
punched in the
he's
face.
fucking lightning fast. It's just like fucking over.
I
Yeah.
watched a sparring video of him sparring like a long time ago, and this guy's like, yeah, like 1, 2, and he's hitting this dude's hand so bad. I bet at the end of this training session, this dude had to go get his shoulders iced because he hit so hard, man,
Yeah.
so fucking
I don't know
hard.
how we got onto that.
Yeah. We were talking about him for being bankrupt. But
Oh,
all
yeah,
right,
go.
my number 4 is start a rap beef.
So you have to already be a rapper.
You have to be a rapper. You don't have to be a famous rapper.
Yeah, I've seen some non-famous rappers start rap beefs, somehow get acknowledged.
Yeah. Big mistake. If you're an established rapper and some no-name fucking idiot like calls you out, do not acknowledge that person.
Yeah.
You've just instantly given them a lot
Who's
of
the dude
credit.
who had the cuts on his face that got beat up?
Stitches.
Stitches.
Yeah.
He was
What?
some rapper dude named Stitches. Got like started a beef with who? Was it The Game maybe?
Yeah, I think it was a game.
The Game
And
and
they were
like
talking about having a boxing match.
yeah, and then somehow like the game like tried fighting him, and then the game's goons jumped in and like knocked this dude out,
Yeah.
and it was like recorded. And then the Stitches guy after was like, hey, you know, like I got knocked out, but like my record sales went up.
Who's the rapper that shot himself on Facebook or something?
Oh, that was a dude from Indiana.
Oh yeah, okay.
The guy that was like in his car and he like shot. Yeah.
Shot himself.
I
in
wouldn't
the face.
consider him famous though.
Got him more famous.
I would say that they gave him notoriety, but at this point, no one knows that dude's name or
Yeah.
saying anything about that story.
He might be picking up tracks. He's got to shoot himself again.
This time
Just do it
in
every
the
couple
head,
months.
just kill yourself, dude. You
Yeah.
suck.
You suck.
Alright. My number 4 is saying that the president doesn't care about black people on national television, or fucking over Taylor Swift.
So be Kanye West.
Yes.
Oh, God, yeah.
But Kanye West was already famous. way
But both
before
of
that.
those things made him more famous.
They made him more famous for sure.
It made him like not just a rapper anymore. Just like
Yeah, that's when he turned the point into like just the bad kind of fame.
yeah.
I
Well,
feel
it's just like
an egomaniac monster.
everybody has an opinion on him now.
I don't.
Like,
I
people
don't
not-
think. I
not-
think he was being fucking. He felt that way, and he was being honest about how he felt. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, feel certain ways, and they hide it or they don't say it because they don't want to be looked at differently,
Well,
or they don't want to be judged. And that's one reason why I respect him.
Yeah.
Is because he says whatever he wants to say, regardless of if it's good or if it's bad.
Okay, the
Doesn't say it very well.
the saying.
He's not probably. I mean, I don't know if
He's
he's
not articulate whatsoever.
Hold on.
articulate in the way that he speaks. No, but
No,
articulate in
that's-
other.
It's
So what
because it's so
articulation
much
is.
emotion. You can tell there's so much emotion. But
He's
like,
manic. Is what
yeah, he is manic. But like in the George Bush doesn't care about black people video, you can just see it building, and then he just blurts it out. Mike Myers' face is just like, oh my god. I will say that one I'm fine with that one. The Taylor
Yeah.
Swift one is iffy.
He
It's
drank
like,
a whole
yeah,
bottle of Henny.
Yeah, he was all fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever.
That was oh man.
And Beyonce's video was pretty good.
Yeah.
And they were sucking Taylor Swift dick at that fucking
Yeah,
award
they
show.
were.
That's how all those shows are though. Why do you even go?
They're bullshit. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all bullshit.
All right, cool. So my number 3 is God, Hunter's so vague compared to your guys. Create something new or like invent something new. And that could be anything. Like you create like a new app that like counts how many beers you
A
drink.
drone that makes me pizzas.
Yeah, or whatever. It can be
Boom.
any sort of type of creation. Most likely in this day and age, it's gonna have to do something with
Tech.
technology now. But yeah, so I think of like Steve Jobs. He was fucking a creator of a lot of things, and he's super famous.
Yeah.
Or you
know-
could steal people's creations and
Just
take
be
them as
better
your own.
PR.
That's kind of, I mean, Bill Gates kind of just stole a bunch of people's shit.
Yeah, he did. He really did. Watch a documentary on his rise.
Or
It's
like the Facebook dude, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, just stole the idea. He knew how to do it though.
He
Yeah.
didn't steal. I thought it was
If
his.
you would have created Facebook.
Wasn't it
you would've
his
created
idea? Another dude created it, and then
No.
he.
It was their idea.
Oh, we're talking
and
about the
they went to
Stanford
him.
guys, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay.
the
Winklevoss.
twins. The Winklevoss twins.
They went to him to create it, and he was just like, "All right," just took their idea and created it.
Yeah.
But
I
they're
mean, that's-
super rich now. They were
Yeah.
already super rich, and now they're even more
They're
super
not
rich.
as rich as him.
It don't matter.
Yeah. Rich enough.
Would you be
idiots.
mad about that? I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, thanks, bro.
I
Appreciate
think
it.
I'd be kind of mad because they were already rich before that. So it was just like, you just fucked them out of a fuck ton of money.
But no one fucking knew. No one knew that Facebook was gonna be this big.
But that was their idea, man.
No
Just-
one knew.
Just think
If
about,
I was,
Alright,
if-
think about it like this: you're already rich, and then you can have like the number one thing in the world that can control people.
you don't know it's the number one thing in the world at that particular moment.
Yeah,
in
They
time.
it's
only,
going
wanted
to
it, they only wanted it as like a
You-
database for Stanford. They only wanted to create like a
Yeah,
thing
they
for
had like the
Stanford.
small idea of it.
Yeah,
and he
they
took
didn't,
it.
They didn't realize how big it was gonna be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one knew how big it was going to be. Even when Mark put it out there to everybody, he wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, everyone in the world is going to join this and people are going to use this as their main source of communication and their main source for their businesses and their main source for all this shit. No one knew that.
Yeah,
No one knew that.
Yeah.
that's true.
And the fact that it all turned into that is crazy to me.
Yeah, you could say it would have never turned into that without.
What's our okay?
Damn.
Think about like
It
us.
seems so natural now, though.
Yeah, it's so natural. Well, I think our number one thing for getting our podcast out and getting exposure is Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our number one source of shit.
Well, fuck handing out flyers. It's cold as shit. All right, my number 3. I'm gonna switch back. I was gonna do a really stupid one, and I'm gonna switch back. Transform your body into a dinosaur.
Which isn't stupid.
Yeah. So you at home might be thinking that's pretty dumb. You don't want to know what my other option was gonna be.
I mean, you would become instantly famous.
Yeah.
If you
Because
transformed
you're the
into a
only
dinosaur.
human. So are you talking about like through plastic surgery?
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna have green skin
So.
and like the
No.
bones along the back.
That's
oh,
whack.
so
That's
people
whack.
do that though. People
No,
do that.
That's
shit.
body modification. I was thinking more or less.
You just live as a dinosaur.
You build a dinosaur biologically, but somehow you transfer your soul into this dinosaur.
What? That's what you would
It's
think.
not gonna be. Neither way is rational. Why are you saying what?
One of them's doable. Like people will turn into cats.
But it's lame. There's already a cat person.
Dinosaur's better. Cat person's pretty famous.
What kind of dinosaur would he be?
I always imagine just a regular, like
Raptor.
run-of-the-mill T-Rex or a raptor. I
Raptor.
guess.
T-Rex, so you have to cut his arms.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you would go tiny arms.
Wow. That was...
Wow.
He sexually identifies as a Apache helicopter.
Alright. It's my number 3. Alright. Date a football star, make a sex tape with a mediocre rap artist, and then court various guys while starting a reality TV show and then marrying one of the most famous people on earth.
Yeah.
All right. So now you reference Kanye twice and Kim once.
So the way we figured all of this out,
Or have rich parents. Or
That's
have
true.
famous parents because they were
She
already
was born
famous.
into the fame.
nobody gets famous for good reasons here in this fucking country.
Yeah.
Well,
Can we
maybe
address that?
that's no. I would say people would get famous for other shit.
Not as famous.
I mean,
do you know who's coming up with like good vaccines or doing like scientific advances? Elon Musk is the face of all of science, and so is
But he's pretty fucking famous now. He's getting more famous.
Yeah. It's transitioning back the other way, but I feel
No,
like
it's not.
I feel like it is.
I disagree 100%. A dude.
He can only
How
get
many
so famous.
Instagram followers does Elon Musk have? Probably not as much as Justin Bieber. You know what I mean?
Not even close.
It's not even close.
He's probably not even top. Oh, man,
Okay,
I
so
don't even-
Vine.
I'm thinking worldwide.
If you
maybe
think
he's
of like
doing better,
Vine,
but-
okay, so like Vine was a big thing. Like there was all these really big famous Viners, and now they've transitioned into like other things where they're doing like YouTube, like social media.
You can just
going-
be famous for. fucking-
Social media is like the number one way, easiest way to get famous for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
that's
don't really have to do
my
shit.
that's my number 2. So boom, look at that, I'm jumping straight into it.
I think you just skipped Cody.
No,
No.
I just did mine.
Well,
No.
all right.
Yeah, so use the internet.
Yeah.
Become famous on the internet. Be that either like viral videos. Like I remember, or there was that dude that recorded like a fight video or like a shoplifting thing in the mall. I can't remember. And he said something really stupid like, "Oh, I'll get him," or something like that. And so this video went viral and it had like 100 million views or something retarded like that on Facebook. So this dude instantly created a Facebook business page for himself, and he created like a T-shirt that said whatever he said in the video, like "Oh
Yeah.
Lord" or whatever, and started selling these
Ain't
T-shirts.
nobody got time for that.
Yeah, or like all those things. Those people made
They all
money.
get money,
They
yeah.
all made money from that. All those people, like if you create and you're quick and you monetize it quickly, you're gonna make money, huge money.
Yeah.
I was just watching. I watch a lot of YouTube. So like this dude I follow, he's like a lifestyle fitness vlogger. Like Christian Guzman's his name. He has a clothing brand called Alphalete. Okay, and he was talking about the budget they have for a upcoming convention, like a fitness convention, like
Yeah.
where like kind of like the Arnold, but it's in Australia. He said the budget for the people going is $35,000, and the budget for the booth and like the quantity of clothes they're gonna bring and stuff like that is like $50,000. So this dude's gonna spend like over $100,000 in just a weekend to
Yeah.
take like people there and all the shit. So just imagine how much money this guy's making from making YouTube videos and selling fucking $30 T-shirts
all the
online.
all
It's
the
crazy
top,
to me.
all the top like vloggers or viral people,
It
they
is.
all have like t-shirt companies
It's crazy.
or some type of like plug like that.
See, I follow a couple people. Like I follow this dude named Matt Vincent, and he's probably one of my favorite YouTubers and he's really small. Like he only has like 20,000 subs. But I follow I bought like his book and stuff off Amazon. It's called Hate Brands. Good is like, and I have like some T-shirts from him, and they're fucking badass. I love them.
Yeah.
But I wish I could wear hats. He has some cool hats, but I can't wear them.
Yeah. Hey man, now you got a haircut, you might be able to pull it off.
I don't know. I can't. I look weird with a hat on.
Okay. My number 2.
Two.
Author and erotic vampire wizard series. Instant fame.
Twilight. No, wait. Is that it?
It's not vampire wizards.
Oh,
I don't
wizards.
know if there's wizards in it, but if
Wizards.
you can combine it into a
I didn't
wizard
hear the wizards.
vampire.
So you're saying take like Twilight and Harry Potter and put
Why
them in
haven't you
one?
done
Yeah.
this yet?
It's hard. I don't know. Like, might not
You
be
could
that
do this.
hard. I feel like I could do it. Yeah.
What are you doing?
No.
Take us with you.
Okay, but to be honest with you though, I don't think Twilight was super big until the movies came out.
I don't know.
Definitely
man.
not. It was already famous, man.
It was
way
already famous. It was huge.
Really?
It was like 50 Shades of Grey type shit.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Those like type of books just get gobbled up.
But
Man.
how often does that happen?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain things.
Maybe
that
like
just-
one time a year there's a book comes out that everyone's like, yeah.
way less than that.
Probably every 10 years.
Yeah, probably around then. So it'd be like you can go Harry Potter, Twilight,
The 50 Shades of Grey thing was
50
big.
Shades of Grey was huge too.
But there's like New York bestsellers every year.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
all
there's
this
always
shit.
bestsellers.
They don't take off in
But
the
they're
general
never like
public. Though.
general public.
J.K.
though.
Rowling's a billionaire.
Yeah.
But she's a billionaire from the movies and shit.
And the
though.
books too.
But the
Everybody bought-
movies made her way more money.
The whole
than the books.
universe, all the merchandise, it has its own
Yeah.
theme park.
Yeah, but that goes in with once you write it, then that stuff's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
Maybe.
How do you like couple the two? Like that's the thing I was thinking of. Was like how do you combine the two worlds?
I don't know. I'm not-
Wizardry and vampireness.
Wizardry and vampireness. Like
Maybe
there's
they're
gotta
fighting
be
them, and then all of a sudden they're like,
Oh, that's played
"But
out.
wait,
It's gotta be
but
like.
wait, you're sexy." And then they get down to business.
Of course, that's gonna occur, but I don't think the pretense should be war. I think it should be like they're maybe aliens. Maybe aliens are involved. Maybe aliens are attacking the Earth and they're hiding underground. And there's very few of them left.
I think you should write this book.
You're on to something.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think
Alright.
so.
My number 2?
Yep.
Is it 2?
Yeah.
Two.
All right. Take over an economically collapsing country, rise to fame, and then start conquering all the nations around you,
Alright.
and then do a Holocaust.
Oh my god.
You'll be one of the most famous people in all of history.
Do a Holocaust.
Yes.
But to like not people, right?
I'm not. You're asking me how to gain fame,
A
and I'm
monkey
telling you how to gain fame.
Yeah. So like, make it like a roses.
Is he
Holocaust.
not one of the most famous people? You
You
cannot have
kill
his name.
all the roses.
Listen, think about this. You can't have his name, and you can't have his hairstyle, mustache style, ever, or it's automatically him. He is, those are just him now.
I
Yeah.
feel like I've met someone that had his name or something like that.
No, you didn't.
I don't know. I feel like they were like, yeah, my actual. Because I remember he was like, oh, my name's Dolph or something like that, and I was like, yeah, what? And then he like showed me his ID, and his name was actual Adolf. His name was Adolf, and he's like, yeah, but I just go by Dolph.
I would too.
Yeah.
I was like, are you a big Dolphins fan? He's like, I'm not, but I have to be.
That's why you call me this.
Yeah. All right. So my number one, which is nice and simple and easy, is become a movie star or an athlete or whatever. Be really good at one specific thing. So if you become an athlete, if you become an athlete, for the most part, you're gonna gain some sort of fame. So say if it's in like football, it's a little harder because like they can't see your face. But like in basketball, if you're a basketball player, you're famous from the way that
Yeah.
you look.
Yeah.
100%.
Football, it's like make that one miraculous play.
Oh,
I'm thinking about OBJ.
David Tyree, baby.
David Tyree.
The greatest
Not
football.
that
Yeah.
famous.
The
though.
greatest,
man, that's one of the
great.
greatest
No one.
Within the football community,
Greatest-
everybody knows who he is.
Greatest catch,
Yeah.
the best play of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't
but
matter of what.
He's not that famous.
David, I know who he is.
Mhm.
Everybody
His
in
spectacular
football
catch
knows.
was only
I'm
83.
sure most people in New York know who he is.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
So
that's
be
big three.
famous. Be famous already. You know, move to LA and get lucky.
I think.
Jumping back to my number
Can I
five.
take a stab at what Cody's is gonna be before I do my number one?
Did you already say mine?
No, I haven't seen it.
You see?
But I'm taking a stab at it. It's gonna do something with have 12 disciples and get crucified.
You're close. You're really goddamn close.
So all of your things have been people.
I escalated quickly.
Yeah.
So go, Jay.
I went from sex tapes
All right. My
Sex
number
tapes to
one.
Jesus.
This one has not occurred in history yet, but you will become the most
Oh,
famous human
God.
being if you can pull this off.
I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I've talked about this several times, and if ever I just give up on life and I just want to go down in infamy, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna throw baseballs at fucking targets from varying distances. Until I'm hitting 98, 99, 100% of the time I'm hitting the target I'm throwing at.
But that's-
going like 90 miles an hour. I'm
I feel
training.
like it has to be harder than that.
I'm training all day long, just throwing these fastballs as hard as I can, hitting these targets. Pow, 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 pow. And then I'm gonna study the Pope, learn his movements, find his route until he's coming along an area where I can get within, we'll say, 20 yards of him. and then
Are you gonna assassinate the Pope with a baseball?
yes, yes, that's how I'm.
have to die though. You just gotta hit
No,
him.
I gotta kill him.
No, dude, if you assassinate the Pope with a baseball.
His brain, his skull is old and soft,
Oh,
man.
my God.
One baseball's gonna rip the top of his head off.
Dude, you would be
JFK
so fucking famous.
I know, right? Oh yeah, and then like, and
What
then
would be your backstory? Like people
I'll
would
have-
study you and stuff.
Yeah. I'll have a manifesto. I
Oh,
probably
my
won't
gosh.
survive.
Would
the
you have a
day.
regular man's
Oh,
manifesto?
I would. You guys would come back and you would review all this information.
I cannot wait until your life takes a turn for the
Yeah,
worse,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you just start practicing.
You guys, can you imagine?
I like your
rip-
Pope.
If
but that would be
anyone knows
hilarious.
Jay, and he just starts throwing a baseball at targets for no reason at all, you should maybe ask us
Oh
some
my
questions.
all
God.
day long.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I told you couldn't top me, bruh.
That's
Quits his
amazing.
job,
All right.
buys like all of these baseballs, different weights and sizes.
I think yours is the funniest, but mine's definitely gonna be the most famous.
Okay, really?
All right, my number one: create all of existence.
Damn it.
You are God. Everyone worships you. You are the most famous person in the world.
It's hard to argue with that.
He's the number one famous person, that's for sure. By the way, I got on his Twitter recently. Wow, does he have a
He's
lot of
saying some
followers?
His Twitter handle.
No,
is
he
like-
isn't.
He
No.
didn't think very highly of Saturday Night Live last weekend.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Trump? Oh, I thought you said Trump is God. Fuck. Oh my God.
All right. Since now it's premeditated murder instead of just popicide.
Alrighty, well I think we murdered that topic.
Ha ha!
Get it? Because you murdered the Pope there the last one.
nice.
Wait, did we even finish?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
finished.
We always finish.
Okay. But I guess
Finish first.
I guess we were laughing so hard about the Pope thing that we just kind of moved
Yeah,
on.
you're welcome.
All right, so we're gonna jump straight into the topic: education reform. Jay has some talking points. We're gonna fill you in. Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna open it up like I normally do with sort of like a vague question that gets everybody engaged here. At what point did you receive a good education or a bad education?
Well, I had a. I'll just go
Yeah,
first.
go.
Specific
I had a
instance.
bad education, I think, throughout.
All of it, the entirety of
Never
your
had a
education.
Throughout
Never
until
had a
I got
good
to
class.
college.
Oh. Okay.
Till I got to college, I didn't have a good education. I had teachers here or there that were okay, and I was like, okay, this class is kind of interesting. I'll try a little bit in this class. I basically just breezed through most of high school, all of my, K through 12.
Oh yeah.
And then when I got to college, I did
A lot
still
of catching
have,
up to do, I'm assuming.
not really. I still had shitty teachers, but there were like those ones that were just like so fucking good at their job that it was just like made me really, really interested in
Another
whatever
thing
it was.
too about being in college though is it's your choice to be there,
That's true.
and you're usually paying money and like things
But
like that.
honestly,
So it
the-
changes the way that you approach
The
it.
schools we went to were shit.
It
It was obviously shit.
Okay, so mine is going to be, I went to a bunch of elementary schools. I went to like 5 elementary schools. So I received a poor education just based off the fact that I was moving so much that I missed a lot of stuff. So like when I got into middle school, I was like behind for the most part. So I learned how to just adapt and like just pass or like get a C. And like no one in my family was like really smart or anything, so like I would come home with C's and my mom would be like, "Awesome," you know what I mean? Because I'm not failing classes, so my mom's like, "All right, cool, like you're gonna make it, you're gonna get through." But then I had certain teachers who like I was like either like I excelled in their class or like just the way that they taught, like Earth Space Science, Mr. Lester, the greatest dude. He was such an awesome teacher. Did you guys
Mr.
have
Lester or Larson?
Larson? Sorry, Larson. That's what I meant to say.
No, I didn't have Larson.
Dude, awesome. So in middle school. So I'm like a fucking not very smart. And the smartest chick in our school was Kaylee Nepper? Is that right?
Niffler.
Kaylee Niffler. And she was in my class, and I fucking got a better grade than her in that class.
Oh shit.
And we played all these games because I was like competitive. So we'd play these games where like you'd have to like find coordinates on like a map, and I would like crush her every time. Or like you'd have to like memorize like these stupid things like we watched like this movie on like speed and like how fast things move and shit, and I like memorize every single number somehow, even though I suck at math. But I memorize all these random things, like how far away is the moon, how far away is the sun, how far away are all the planets from each other, like all of these weird shit. What's the speed of sound? What's the speed of light? Like all those things. And I would like, we would play these games, and I just know the fucking answers, like everything. And I would get all these bonus points, and I crushed her in the class. Crushed her. I like had like 500 fucking points more than anyone else.
What did he do then that triggered this?
I think it was the interaction with, like, he made us play all these games and stuff during class. So we were in, like, 7th grade, I think. It's the 7th grade.
Yeah,
we
we
were
7th grade.
Yeah, so we're in 7th grade. So, like, most of your teachers, for the most part, like, where we all went to Miami, right? Did you go to Miami?
Yeah, I went to Miami.
Most of your teachers weren't engaging with you. Like, they were like,
Fill out this packet.
Hey, fill out this packet and, like, whatever, and meet with your students and do whatever, and, like, you know, and he was more of like, okay, we're going to do all this together. We're going to work on it together as a group, as a whole, as everyone in this class is going to work together no matter what. So, like, Joe Schmo and Kaylee Niffler could fucking get along because we're all working together. So, Kaylee's grade relies on everyone else's grade.
Yeah.
And I think he made everyone engage in it, so it was more engaging. We didn't watch like stupid movies. We watched movies that were like informative but yet entertaining. And then I think the game aspect where like we were in our seats, like reading and writing shit down. We were like up and standing and talking and moving around and stuff.
Standing, that's a big thing. I think there needs to be more. Like, I think.
Well, let's stick to the topic.
All right.
Did you?
I want to come back because I feel bad. I did have a few good teachers. One of them that comes to mind is exact opposite of that teacher that you just described. He handed out these cheat sheets. It was like chemistry. It was in high school, and handed out these cheat sheets that basically told you the answers to everything, but you couldn't use them on the tests. But like,
so you just memorized the cheat sheet.
You learned everything, but then like we would get it into groups, and you couldn't have your cheat sheets while you were in groups.
But you forget.
And then you'd do the models of like all the molecules, and you put them together and everything, and then you just learned it. Like I ended up, our final was to create 10 models of different molecules. I ended up doing like 5 people's finals and got like $50.
Damn.
Because like that class was awesome.
Yeah. See,
I learned so fucking much.
I think hands-on is a big thing. But, like, I had teachers who tried or teachers who cared or teachers that engaged. And then I had the opposite where, like, teachers didn't engage. Or, like, for me, like, I had a teacher legitimately because I was kind of a bad kid. I had a teacher, my 8th grade math teacher, literally said, if you don't come to class, I'll pass you the C.
Yeah.
So I never went to class. I would hang out in the fucking janitor's office and play games on his computer. Helly Attack 2. I was a fucking beast at it. That's a real thing. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. Middle school was a joke.
And the only time I would go is when we had a substitute. And one time, Jesse Adamonis and me literally gave our substitute a panic attack. We had to call the ambulance.
Holy crap.
She passed out in the classroom.
Total shitheads, man.
It was. You weren't in that class.
No, I was out in the hallway, and I remember like the ambulance people were coming down the thing.
Dude, that was a real thing.
And like I was like, "What the hell?" So I followed them to the classroom, and she's laying on the ground there.
It was intense, and all of us were like, "What the fuck?"
Nobody really seemed all that up. Like they were just like, "Oh, got her."
Holy fuck.
Jesse Adamonis was pretty crazy.
I've thought about this recently. I have very, very, very few memories from middle school. That's like 3 years of your life. And I have like no memory of middle school.
I had the greatest middle school experience of any human being ever.
Yeah.
Really? How?
What do you mean how? Dude, I literally had a teacher tell me not to come to class.
Yeah.
As an 8th grade student, and I had a teacher say, so that was right after lunch. So for legitimately like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I had hung out in the janitor's office and played games.
Yeah.
How cool
the
was that?
main thing I remember from middle school is all the fights I saw.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good fights.
Okay,
I don't remember the
that's
curriculum.
Lock-ins were awesome. Middle school was great for me.
All right.
But I crushed school all the way through.
Let's rein this back in. Okay. We went to, I would say, I don't know if it was underfunded,
Yes.
but it was not a pristine like a educational bastion
it was
of
bottom
learning.
of the rung fucking school in our city.
What let's talk about, what do you think money's role here is? What does funding have to do with school? Like, what are we doing here? Are we looking at underfunding, or is it just inefficiency?
It's like, okay,
I wouldn't.
when it comes to like standardized testing, and your kids don't do well on the standardized testing, your funding gets cut. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you ever going to get this school and the kids in the school to do better if their funding gets cut, and then their teachers get paid less, and then they don't care as much, and it's like you just bring in like shittier teachers because they're willing to take less pay.
You start downward spiraling if you start doing bad on the tests.
And then the kids don't have like those extracurriculars. Like Wayne didn't have any extracurriculars really.
Well,
They had some sports, but like a lot of like the extra classes, like photography, home ed, or like home ec, or whatever, all those like random classes that you take, they're supposed to be like easy classes. Those are all cut. Even like language classes were cut when I was there, yes. And I was only a year before you. I didn't ever have the chance to take home ed, or home ec. Whatever.
Yeah,
I didn't. What's that? What's that?
Home ec. It's so you just make stuff.
You like bake and shit.
Oh, I did it like
I didn't
my
have the
freshman
chance to take
year.
that. I didn't have the chance to take. We only had 2 language classes, Latin and Spanish.
Yeah, I only had Spanish. I don't remember Latin.
I mean, other high schools where like people I talked to them, they had like 5.
French, Russian.
Like,
yeah, but you're thinking of private schools do all that kind of shit.
Homestead High School, Snyder High School offer like German, French.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like some of them offer Chinese, Mandarin.
We had the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then like every year they would just talk about how low our test scores were. It's like why is it so low? Maybe because nobody's fucking trying.
Here's the thing though, is like I was looking up the numbers and I don't have them exactly. I should have wrote them down. We spend more per student. It's like $10,000 per student per year than the private schools do by like $2,000.
Yeah, it's
Well, the
definitely an
average. So
efficiency
I
problem.
looked up. I posted a thing in our like on our page too.
Yeah.
This article I found is really good, and it has all of the average whatever per student. So that the Indiana average is $11,000 per student. That's for all of Indiana, and Fort Wayne's at like $10,000 per student.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go to like Indy, and it's like $7,000. There's some places in New York, $56,000 per student.
Holy shit.
Think about this though.
And then you go to like LA. So then I was showing my girlfriend this, and she was like, "Oh, well, like New York's really expensive to live in. That's why it's more." And I was like, "Okay, let's go to another expensive city, San Francisco, and it's $7,000 per student. But in Oakland, it's like $12,000 or $16,000 per student.
Where they're doing worse.
And then you go down to like LA, and it was like $8,000 per student and shit like that. So
yeah, there's not a correlation then.
So all the research I found is money alone doesn't solve it.
Yeah.
Money alone doesn't fix the problem. If we go all the way down to like elementary schools and stuff, so like in high school and shit, I don't feel like money plays a big part at all.
I think it does. I think it does
when it's lower. Okay, so like, and you got to make sure that the money
goes
to the. So like,
if you get to high school and you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to.
It's not even if you don't know what you're doing. So it's more of like the schools that are getting money, they have to use it on the right things. So like take-home test books. Like there's a lot of schools that don't have take-home test books and like random things like that. Like things that like we had take-home test books and shit like that. But there's other schools that didn't have that at all, or have like heat in their building.
Yeah.
And like random things, or like nutrition at home. So like all the things at home they don't have. So if you're you're a elementary school student and you're fucking starving at home, and then you go to school,
yeah,
and you're already starving, like your brain isn't gonna function as well because you're fucking starving and like all that shit. So just throwing money into the school doesn't fucking make it better. So there needs to be more money in the other stuff around that supports the kids and it supports the school.
One statistic that I know is like we have spent like I think it's 3-4 times more money since like 1950 on our school system now, and that's like adjusted with inflation. We spend like that much more.
Because we were trying to compete with the Russians.
Our test scores do not reflect any increase.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. It's just like stagnant.
Another thing too though is like I would say like I'm not a good at taking tests. I'm not a very good test taker at all. But like I feel like I'm successful and I feel like I've bettered my life and things like that. So I think that's another way you should gauge success not based off how well you do on a test, but how well, like, what's your graduation rate? What's your average income of your graduates? What's your average, whatever, like those type of things. I think, and I read an article that says, see if I can find the exact thing, but
You just made me think of a question.
but it talks about that. It talks about how, like, just because a school has low test scores, they
Yeah.
still might have a high graduation rate, and they still might have more people going to college, more people becoming successful, or whatever.
What do you think affects you more? The school you go to or the teachers in the school? Because I know that there's certain teachers throughout my life that have just like made a great impact on me because they were
It's totally
such
the
great
teachers.
teachers.
It's the teachers, 100%. Because,
Yeah.
and I think this is the thing that they're getting handcuffed with the teaching towards the test. Like, you can't graduate without ISTAP. You have to have everybody at the same level. And, like, they're just getting handcuffed and they're teaching towards the test and they're not creating these, like, lessons that, like, what Chase's best experience with. So, like, it's not modeled after your students. It's not going towards results. It's just teaching towards getting people to answer, like, certain lines on a test.
See, I agree with you completely because the classes that I'm thinking of that I actually liked through K through 12 were never like the standardized classes. Like chemistry was like one of my favorite classes. That's not on the ISTEP. It's not a standardized testing thing. And then when I get to college, there's no more standardized testing. And then it's just like I like these certain teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Like way more frequently.
See, but another thing too about college though is I think because college you can choose your classes, you can choose like
But you still have to take those prerequisites.
for the most part, but you can choose like the times.
Yeah.
Like you have way more freedom in college. In my experience from college though is I only had maybe a couple teachers that were good, but mainly all I did was they fucking had PowerPoints, which they've done 555,000 fucking times,
Yeah.
and they fucking go through their PowerPoints and they talk about their PowerPoints, and then they tell their little stories and they tell their jokes, and you take fucking notes, and then they send you a study guide, then you take a fucking test.
Yeah.
That is college in a fucking nutshell right there.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then you take
No, there's more diversity.
then you
than
take some
that.
other cool classes though. You take like your computer, like all the computer based classes, like where like learn how to use like Word documents and like that kind of shit. Like then you actually have to apply yourself and learn. But for the most part, every class I fucking took was PowerPoint based. Take fucking notes.
That reflects,
Write it down. Take a test.
That
That's
reflects
everything.
the teacher though, because I've had those classes and then I've had other teachers where it's like like a history class I took, we went through this whole book and it was a fuck ton of curriculum, but somehow it was like intriguing. Like we
Yeah.
had these discussions every day and it was
Like
so intriguing and I got so much from it.
Discussions are key, but another thing too, what that's going to come down to is, like how does your class react to like your opinions and things like that. So like for me for math, let's take that as an example. When I transferred from Trine to Indiana Tech, I was way behind in math. Like I've always been behind in math. Like I still don't know like multiplication or like division very well at all. Like if you were like, hey, what times what, I probably wouldn't know the answer.
Yeah.
It would depend. Maybe some of them I know.
I mean, you got a calculator on your phone. fuck
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Understandable. I have a calculator on my watch now too, just in
Yeah.
case. But no, when I was taking a freshman level math class as a junior.
Yeah.
Because I failed it at Trine twice. And while I was at Trine, my teacher, I had the same teacher fucking twice because that was the only one I could take. And I would ask all these questions, and like, I don't particularly care if someone's making fun of me or not, or for being dumb, because like I don't give a fuck. But like, I would raise my hand and say, "Hey, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on," and he would laugh at me.
Yeah.
My teacher would laugh at me in front of everyone, in front of the whole class.
Yeah.
Until like where Darcy, she dates Juan, our buddy Juan.
Yeah.
She went to Trine with me, and she was like, I don't think she was in my math class, but she was like hanging out with us and stuff. And she was like, hey, like I'll fucking help you with math, because like clearly like you need help and like no one else is helping you.
Yeah.
So she would come to my room and like help me with my math homework, because I would do my math homework and turn it in, and I would get all the answers wrong and shit because I fucking didn't know how to do it. And I asked my teacher, and he made fun of me.
Yeah, that's
He
a
could
bad
barely
teacher, man.
speak English, and I legitimately made fun of me in front all the time, every day. I'd raise my hand every day and ask questions, and he'd be like, ha ha ha, and blow me off and wouldn't answer my questions or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so like let's talk about styles. Right there, that sounds like I'm not sure what style that math teacher had.
It was, I think
I
he
think
was
that
like
goes well
mad
into-
at like, I think because he was from a foreign country, I legitimately feel like he felt like he was better than everyone else, and he was mad at us for being these like, you know, kids in his class that like were trying to learn math because he was so much smarter, and he made fun of everyone that asked questions, not just me. If someone had a question about anything, he wouldn't answer. He would laugh at you, and like wouldn't answer
I've
none
had a
of the
teacher
questions.
like that from another.
And like
country.
me as being a grown man, like I wanted to beat him up every day.
Yeah.
And I met him a couple times like outside of class, and I was like, "Hey, dude, you need to calm the fuck down." And then he was like fucking sending emails saying I was threatening him and shit, and like I had a lot of problems with that guy.
Okay. All right, that's a bad style. That's a nightmare thing. That might not actually like wind up in a textbook as an actual teaching style.
Well, like not teaching style, but just like to interject before you ask this question is like with that in K through 12, there is like a track system where it's like the top 20% are going to get the attention they need because that teacher knows those are the people we need that to graduate. Like that top 20%, they're actually trying, they're actually doing these things. And they put you on a track. And if you're on the bottom of the track and you actually like want to learn, they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Think about us. Remember that math Mr. Woods class when me and you were in that?
Yeah.
Dude, I tried really hard in that class to like, because he would let us take tests like as teams.
Yeah.
So you would be able to team up with someone and take a test. So like Jay would be like, okay, hey, like I'm not really good at this and this and this, so you try to get really good at that, and I'll help you with this and this and this. So like I would fucking like study. I would do all this shit to fucking, and this was like when we were good friends, but we weren't like super best friends. Then. This like made us really good friends though.
That was junior year,
yeah.
I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so he wasn't a good teacher, I don't think.
I thought he was a good teacher.
I think he was a
honestly.
good teacher when he came to like explaining the curriculum and like
Mhm.
and stuff, and he would give
He
you
cared.
he definitely cared, and he would give you like simple ways, but I think that he would make us do a lot of like stupid busy work and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Overall. But he would let you work as a group because that's real life.
Yeah.
Real life is you're going to most likely, if you go do a job, you're going to have someone to help you. If you have a question, you go to your boss.
And now
whatever.
real life is you have a question, you go to Google a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's changing.
I would say, and I'm keep trying to bring it back to like
Yeah,
this.
get this-
That style there would be sort of like the
You're talking-
community, like
Oh, okay.
group effort. Like a lot of you can like people utilize all sorts of different styles, but they fall back on their favorite ones. I had certain teachers that liked lumping us into groups and discussing. I had certain ones that liked you like look at models and break it down and then present it.
Well, it's good to group people up because like the teacher can't address everyone, but then there's those certain students in the class that get it,
Or
and then
who
they
are
group,
teachers.
and
Or
then-
teachers.
and then they group up with the other people, and then it's like you learn from your peers.
See, but the thing is, too, though, is a teacher needs to realize who is going to be a good teacher.
Yeah.
And then when they group people up, they need to make sure they put a leader with each group.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is everyone groups up with their friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big problem. Because if I just group up with all my fucking friends, then I'm just going to fuck off.
Yeah.
But if
That's
I
a lot of calculation on group dynamics, then like you have
Is
to
it
know
really
the
that?
shit out of the
Is that
people
really
you're
that
grouping.
hard? You're with these people every single
if
day.
it's elementary school, that's really easy to do because you're legitimately with those students every day. If it's middle school, you're at least seeing those kids once a day, and you're only having maybe 4 or 5 classes a day, so you're gonna definitely be able to fucking figure that out.
Yeah.
Same thing with high school. You know all your students, you know all the people, you know who's gonna be, and you can figure out who's gonna be a leader like that day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You
not that
can-
hard.
Yeah, you can
I don't
meet a
think
leader
that,
real
that's
quick.
hard.
A lot of times these teachers don't have the power to make these type of decisions or like the freedom to choose their curriculum. What do we think about like where the power should rest? Because right now there's a federal government department of education.
It's really small.
But there is that's where teaching towards the test comes from.
It's so small. It's like
No
you're
child-
talking about
like,
money based.
No Child Left Behind.
We're not talking about money based, but we're talking about they dictate a lot of the things that go on beneath them.
So,
It's such a small percentage.
so they
man.
dictate the policy
It's
that
way more
over-
big
The
state
policy is what we're talking
that
about.
blankets the rest of the nation, like No Child Left Behind.
Yeah, No Child Left Behind. Like that is, it's kind of the.
That's completely changed
It's
the
kind of the
whole-
core of our school systems.
Okay, so they lead the way, but like local governments and stuff actually determine educational policy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like the core of what they're teaching is decided at the federal government level, and at like what point people should learn certain things. That's what like kind of leads towards the track system. Is like you're not on track, boop, you get knocked down a level so they can start teaching the medium and higher level people with their own groupings. I don't think.
Yeah,
I
but
think
it's
we
no.
should leave it up
It's
to
like No Child Left Behind, but it's like children. It should be called like children being pushed along while they're not ready, because you just get passed and then you're not ready.
Yeah.
You're left behind, but you're not left behind.
And I think, like, I don't know, at that same point, I think it's more like you're just taking the power away from the teachers that should be making these decisions on how to teach these kids and where they should all be at. Like, you shouldn't be lumping people into groups that determines kind of where they end up at a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where should we have a Department of Education? Where should it all just be local?
No, I think we should have a Department of Education just to regulate, like, because states, if we didn't, states would skimp. I just think that's how.
Why?
That's
though?
how government works. Certain states.
But that's the people.
certain
Those
states-
are going to be the people who make your state money
that's
and
just-
get a job and pay taxes.
Yeah,
They want you to
but
be successful.
That's ideology.
They want you to be
Ideology
successful.
is going to dictate how that state runs. And if that state is different ideology than you, like say Indiana versus fucking Washington, drastically different states ideology-wise,
They'd have to
I
keep up.
guarantee you in Washington they would have a better education than us if it was left to the states.
It is left to the states, though.
But they're regulated to a certain extent.
It's so small, though, man. It's so small.
No, it's not. I think the core things that they're teaching are decided in the federal government.
But the way that they teach it and things like that is all state-based and based off your teachers and crap.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, why do we have such old-fashioned teaching styles still occurring?
Because I feel like I don't know, I'm not a fucking teacher, but I feel like it's probably because teachers are paid. I mean, being a teacher is a shitty job.
Yeah. It goes into that, like, a cultural
Who wants to
thing.
make $40,000 a year and take care of shitheads all the fucking
It's
time?
a cultural thing.
I
was
wouldn't
just
do
watching,
it. I would fight kids every day.
I was just watching a documentary where they're talking about in Singapore, you don't have to pay for that 5th year of education to become a teacher. If you're in the top 20% of your class, the government pays for it. And say right now, like, I'm about to graduate, and I suddenly decided I wanted to become a teacher, the fucking government would pay for my 5th year, and then I could become a teacher.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Actually, I think there is like some sort of debt forgiveness thing here with our teachers. I think if you just serve the government.
But that's fucked because, like, the debt forgiveness is like, it kind of fucks the teachers because, well, I guess it kind of works because it sends the best teachers to the worst schools, but then those worst schools don't have the funding, and then it's like kind of just breaks down those best teachers.
And another thing too, talking about funding though, it's gonna be based off of where your school is located. So like if we take Fort Wayne in particular, so you're saying like, oh, Snyder and Homestead are so much better than Wayne is. Well, Wayne is located in the southeast part of Fort Wayne.
Hillbilly.
It's not a wealthy part of town.
Yeah.
And Homestead, the average income towards Homestead's like, household income's like $100,000 compared to like 30 grand over towards where
But
Wayne
here's
is.
the thing.
So it's going to change about the people that go to that school.
But no, it shouldn't. In public school, it should be like communism. Every school gets the fucking same amount of money.
And
I
think
disagree.
I don't.
How
would
don't
you
they
disagree?
though?
How would you disagree?
I think that you should allow students to go whatever school they want. I don't think you should district them.
Okay.
I think it'd be a
They
lot
tried
better.
that. They tried that. We
Okay,
tried that
don't
in Fort
district
Wayne.
them.
We
But
tried that in Fort Wayne.
Every school should get the same amount of money.
We tried.
You can go to. What if you could go to any school you want, but every school gets the same amount of money? Then all schools would almost look identical, and that's how it should be. And then
Are we
if
sure
you're
that they
fucking
don't
rich
right now?
or some shit, you should get. No, they definitely don't.
Yeah, you can't go to.
They 100% do not get the same funding.
So your state gets. So like, let's say the city of Fort Wayne has like $100 million a year for funding. They choose what schools they want to give money to.
Yeah, and it's the ones with the highest test scores get the most money. Even though the ones with the lowest test scores need that money to bring in better teachers, better curriculums to raise their test scores.
So I have some things about that too. Hold on one second. So one of the talking points that Jay brought up to us was, I'm gonna say it since you didn't really say it, is what role should money/funding play in education, and should we spend more? Does it make it more efficient?
Well, I said that exact thing. But...
You already said that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't remember. Anyway, so I have like some little things where I like found this article where it was talking about how there was a really poor school and it was in Philadelphia and they like freaked out, so they just gave them a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah.
And like test scores and stuff didn't go up. So like money alone doesn't guarantee success anymore. And then it says that it might have been in Massachusetts or whatever. It was saying that where your money goes is what determines if your test scores are going to go up. So if a school gets a bunch of fucking money, corruption
Yeah.
goes up a fucking shit ton. Okay? So there's this one school in particular, it's in Pennsylvania, that was really poor, had terrible test scores, all this shit. So the city and the government and everything was like, alright, cool, let's fucking give them all this money, and then now their school is going to be great. So over a 13 or a 20-year span, they had way more money than every other school in the area. Because it was like a test run, they're trying to figure it out. They went through 14 superintendents in 20 years.
Yeah.
For corruption and things like that. Teachers were stealing money. They were like spending money on sports, but the coaches were taking cuts and shit. They're like, oh yeah, I gotta buy new jerseys. It's gonna be $10,000 for new jerseys and equipment for the football team. So they're like, oh okay, here's $10,000, and then they would spend $1,000 on gym equipment and keep the rest. Like all the shit was going in, and it was because it's from a very small, poverty-based community. So like every single person that went to the school was poor already.
Yeah.
Not one person there was from a super poor area. So what was happening is all these people were seeing all this money and they're freaking out and they're taking everything.
Well, you gotta think about the type of, like, the teachers that are going there, the people that are running that school. If you're a teacher and you graduated top of your class, you're not gonna go to that area. You want to go somewhere where the kids are gonna be engaged, people are gonna be engaged with you, and you're gonna feel fulfilled in your job.
It's not gonna be freedom riders, is what you're saying?
It's not. No, it's not gonna fucking happen in the low income areas.
All right, so let's go like
unless
this.
you make it happen somehow.
Let's bring up Fort Wayne. So Jay said earlier that kids should be able to go to any school they want to go to.
They're
Okay.
gonna go.
Yeah.
They're
All
all gonna want to go to the same school.
All right, so here's my
It's the
thing.
same with charter schools.
A school can only fit so many kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so there's going to be a cap. So why wouldn't they, you know what I mean? So then you're creating super huge judgments on like, that school's like, okay, I think Jay should come, but Cody, no.
No,
You
they
can't
can't
go.
do that. They can't do that.
I
What-
understand they can't do that, but they would if kids could go whatever school
what
they
would
want.
happen? What would happen in that scenario is
First
a
come,
lottery
first
system.
serve.
A lottery system would have to be in place, which is what happens with charter schools. So many kids apply to charter schools, and then a lottery system is placed. But it's mostly placed for the kids that are lower income that are getting federal grants.
Hence the voucher system.
Yeah, voucher system. If you're on the voucher system, you're placed into a lottery. Once say there's 10 kids going to be accepted, and 20 apply, you're placed into a lottery to get accepted. All the kids that can actually pay for it, like their parents can actually pay for it, get in. Somewhat. But that same system would have to apply in that scenario because you can't discriminate against kids. So it would just like create, like, what would that create? Just like we're jumbling up all the kids into a lottery. And if your ball gets picked right, you get to go to the school that you're actually going to receive an education in. Parents, no way parents would ever go for that. If you're a rich parent, fuck you, I'm sending my kid to a charter school now.
Yeah. I mean,
And I think for the most part, if your family is already wealthy, they most likely already received a good education and they believe in a good education and they want their kids to succeed. So they are going to push them towards schools that are known for good educations. Like an example, like here in Fort Wayne,
Yeah.
like smart people go to like Carroll, and
Yeah.
they go to like fucking home. Like when you think
Well,
of smart
I
schools,
was gonna say that we have a few public.
Canterbury is fucking like
But
everyone
isn't that
I've ever
private?
met from Canterbury is fucking smart as shit.
Yeah, but those are private schools. Like Dwenger and Canterbury are private. But like
Lures is a private school.
Homestead isn't private. But like, think about it. Like
The
have,
average income.
Yeah,
over at
average
Homestead
income.
is retarded.
But like,
Their gym is amazing.
they're basically private in the sense that all the rich
You
people
gotta
live
live
in that
there.
area.
you gotta pay for a house there.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
$200,000.
basically private.
Yeah. So I mean, God, it's this is a tough problem because we haven't even talked about teachers unions, which saves a lot of shit teachers. Because you really couldn't even do that because you wouldn't be able to fill the teachers' positions of.
Once you get
spots that
tenure, you just get bounced around if you're a shit teacher.
Okay, so we could just jump straight back to Wayne for this whole thing. Remember when we had that fucking dude that fucked this student or whatever, and then everyone freaked out, and all these people knew about it, all these teachers knew about it, and they fired like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of firing, they just moved them to other schools.
Yeah.
So they
that's what
moved
happens.
all these teachers around to all these other fucking schools, and then filled Wayne, and then Harding closed down, and then Elmhurst closed down, and they threw all of those fucking kids into Wayne and into like all in like Southside. Someone was telling, I can't remember. Someone was telling me about how at Wayne the average class size, like when we were there, was like 20, 25 kids maybe, which is a lot for a
It's
teacher.
still a lot, yeah.
That's a lot for a teacher to take care of. They had to bring in. Some kids didn't even have desks. They had chairs. Some people had to stand
That's
and fucking
crazy.
stand.
No way.
Yes, that's a
no
real
way.
thing.
That's crazy, dude.
I'm being dead serious.
I really legitimately felt at the end of my Wayne High School time there that I was just in a holding cell.
yeah.
I didn't feel like I was never taught anything really. I don't. No,
Freshman, certain classes I definitely learned
I
stuff.
breezed along. I didn't.
I
fucking learn
definitely
shit.
learned stuff in certain classes, but for the most part, I didn't learn anything. One of my teachers and Jared Harlow was in my class with me on that one, and I can't remember what her name was, but like our actual teacher like quit or like passed away or something. I can't remember. So she let us watch. I think we watched a movie every day of the week, and we did absolutely nothing.
I don't know about.
The whole entire year.
I don't know about
The
your
whole
guys'
year's
class.
English class.
I don't know about your guys' class because you're above me, but I feel like I'm probably an exception to the rule when it comes to my class that I'm graduating college.
Oh, for sure. I'd love to see the stats on it, but
I would too.
some of us are fucking dead.
I have
A
like
lot of us are dead.
I know way too many people that were in my class that are dead now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I feel like how many people graduate with us? Like 300?
It's like 150.
Oh, okay, so 150 kids graduated.
I think so, yeah.
You think?
I know.
What's your percentage? So you think 20% of them went to college at least?
You talking about just a semester?
Talking about just in general, they applied for college and they went to college.
Sure, 20%.
And how many of them graduated?
5.
You think 5 people?
5%. So
Which isn't even that many people.
Which is how many out of 150?
that'd be like, I don't know,
Like 25.
9? There's gotta be more than that, but
There's definitely more than
dude,
that.
I
There's
know-
2 of us right now.
I know at least 20% of my class shouldn't have graduated high school. They did nothing. But since we had so many different principals and the school was gonna,
We only had 2.
the school was gonna, we had 4. I had 4 principals.
Who?
I had 4 different principals.
Who?
It was in our valedictorian speech that we had.
Mabel and
I don't fucking know their names. I don't
Mabel,
remember
and
their
then
names.
who
I
was the
don't
chick?
care.
That's it. We only had 2.
No.
You might have had one because
I
Mabel
had
left
4.
after our year.
I had 4. It was in our valedictorian speech
You
that
did
we
not
had
have 4.
to struggle through adversity.
You didn't have 4. There's no way.
Yes, we did.
You were there for 3 years that I was there, and we had Mabel and then that chick.
And then we had an interim.
No, we had a chick before Mabel, man.
We had an interim too.
Was the lady?
Because they didn't actually announce him
large
as the...
poofy hair.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Fuck, you're wrong. But like, I know so many kids in my class that shouldn't have even graduated, and they just like pushed them on because they didn't want to lose funding.
Yeah. God, I don't think we settled on a magic bullet here. I think what we could take away from this is like we just need to like put more emphasis on what we're doing here, like focus on it. Like I think the only people that really give a shit are people with students in the system. Like,
Yeah.
I care. I really do care.
Well,
I don't want shitheads around me,
You should
but
care because like it's gonna affect everything. It's just like
theoretically, though, if we were to like increase education behind us, that's a lot more competitive people in the labor force coming right after us that are just gonna like skunk us here in a little bit. Imagine like this super genius generation coming up that we invested all this time and energy into making.
Well, that's why everybody's scared about free college. You had to pay your way through college. You had to do your fucking shit to get through college. And if we give away free college, then kids are going to go to college, and then there's going to be more competitiveness. But as a nation wholly, it would rise us above. Like, why does fear have to be everybody's number one fucking go-to? If you're better, like, just try to be better than other people.
Yeah.
Be competitive. Don't just, like, be a little bitch and, like, be comfortable where you're at. Just
I always loved
don't push down on people below you.
I loved the sending more people to college thing, but I really thought that you had to kind of change it way before then. I think we'd have to go back and just hit like on just getting people in elementary school that love learning.
I don't know. I think our whole K through 12 system would change if college was free. If college is free, then parents will see that you need to do these things and get to college. There are so many kids that are in poverty that don't ever see college as a route. Ever. Because of money. Yeah. They never see it as a possibility. It's not a possibility.
Why is it not?
Because they couldn't afford it.
What do you mean? You get loans and shit like me.
You get loans. That's different though. It's different to think. It's a different mindset.
How is that a different mindset?
It's a far
different
mindset.
When I graduated high school, I wanted to go to college. So I said, okay, how do I get there? And then I went and got the money that I didn't have. And still now, today, as a 26-year-old, I'm paying on
What if you're a person who thinks about going, but doesn't go because if you fail, which is a possibility that runs through everybody's mind that applies for college, if you fail, you'll be fucked for the rest of your life. Your family can't back you up. You're fucked.
My mom, if I would have failed college, my mom wouldn't have been able to pay my bills.
You had a support system, dude. Like, it's not even close. You had a support system, you had peers around you that are going to college. We've had this conversation before. You have people in your life that are doing it, so it's not out of your realm to do it. But so many people in the world are just like, it's not even a question. They're not going to go because they can't afford it. Even if you do get loans, it's just not even close. It's like asking me, why don't I go to get my master's degree right now? Because I don't think I can afford it, even though...
Oh, that's a good point.
Even though maybe I can get that job that'll pay off. But, like, I don't know that. That's a huge risk for me.
That makes a lot of sense. That was a good analogy right there. Yeah, you don't, like, you see...
Or maybe because you don't want to go to school because school's totally ridiculous.
I would get my master's degree in a heartbeat if it was free.
School of the hard knocks is what he is.
There's no possible way. I don't care if a dude walked up to me and was like, hey, dude, I'll give you $10,000 a year cash if you just start going to school. I would tell him to fuck off.
Here's a radical idea. Maybe not a radical idea, but kind of like a totally different thing than what Cody just suggested. Focus more on vocational schools. So say like you get your K through 12, and then afterwards, free vocational schooling.
Explain what vocational
you learn like a specific job. So you go to like school for welding.
It's like learning a trade.
Yeah, you're learning a trade. Like we just fund free vocational schools. I know that like we've gotten away from a lot of manufacturing jobs here in the United States, and it's mainly just working in a corporate
Imagine
office.
if in high school, okay, but like this, but imagine if in high school, like right now you're really interested, Cody, you're really interested in like creating websites and things like that. Like you tell me that's probably one of your favorite classes that you're taking right now.
Yeah.
Okay. What if when we were in high school they were like, hey, after schools and stuff, you can go to this place and you can take classes and learn how to do this when you're like a kid? Would you have went?
Yeah.
I think I honestly would prefer more going that route than funding all of like a graduate school or not a graduate
Not
school,
graduate,
undergrad. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna fund vocational schools for a market that is going down. We're losing jobs. We're a service industry now. Like America is service and commerce.
Yeah.
We're not creating shit. The
Yeah.
creation that we make is dwindling. It's always going to dwindle because we can't compete with nations that can pay their people pennies on the dollar.
I mean, there's gonna be, those jobs are ridiculous. Like a lot of these corporate jobs of just typing shit into a computer, also something
Okay,
that needs to go away.
so-
Robots can do it.
Do you want to create a populace that is complicit in just like pressing a button every day, or do you want to create a populace that thinks and wants to change
That's
the
a
system?
whole different shift then. That's not.
But would you say that giving people the education past K through 12 makes people think?
Perhaps. I
There's
don't know.
so many classes that you've taken in college that made you think outside of the box.
A lot of the people I graduated criminal justice with at the very end were not critical thinkers.
Yeah.
They got all the way to the very end and never developed critical thinking. They only were still like very narrow perspectives, and they just thought and just kept regurgitating
But I
the same
would
shit.
feel like the percentage of people who actually that like college affects them and makes them critically think would go up.
But I don't think it'd be a good enough amount for really to justify
More than like
the massive
the
amount of
vocational
money.
school idea. You're just telling people that they're going to do this job for the rest of their lives, and if that job's not there anymore, they're fucked. Which has happened in a way where we have older people going back to school now in our nation. It just doesn't that sounds.
I don't think the solution though is like send people off to this $30,000 experiment to see if they develop critical thinking because we want critically thinking citizens.
It's
It
kind
wouldn't
of
pay off though.
It's kind of like
You gotta do it way before then.
that analogy that I hate, which is like a rising tide
Rises all ships.
rises all ships. Our nation as a whole would be more knowledgeable, and so we would be the nation that would control the world.
Theoretically, but yeah, I think it would have to happen before.
That's not fucking
I
happening.
think it would have to happen before college, in my opinion.
We're letting, I think right now in America, we're letting the top 10% control the world, or control our world, which is, like, if you graduate from college, you're probably in the top 10% of people, because most people don't go to college or
I think it's
graduate
like
from college.
27%, man.
27%? Okay, those 27% are the only people that are fighting against, like, the 1% of people who actually control you. So what if everybody had a chance to go to college?
Do you think college makes you that much better though?
Absolutely.
Wow,
Like,
really?
Leaps and
I
bounds.
transformed intellectually in college for sure.
I think I would love for the K through 12 system to do what it does to people when they go to college, and like be that transformative experience where you find out who you are and you learn so much.
So then why can't they implement the way that college is and stuff when you're younger?
Because as a nation, we've thought that these are the standardized things that you should know, and we've just like drilled that into it. Like, you have to know this, you have to know.
Because I feel like in college I worked a lot. Like, I feel like a lot of things were like team based. I think that's a huge thing. I think that like working as a team is like really important.
Well, I think what college does is it lets you branch out into what you actually like. K through 12 is like, this is what you have to know. Everyone in the world, everyone in our nation has to know this. In college, it's like, well, I get to feel around. What do I want to know?
So you're saying that everything needs to be, or everything in college is, or sorry, from K to 12 is standardized.
Pretty much, yes.
And that's the main problem, is that everyone, like Jay was saying, everyone's following this track. Everyone's fighting to be on track. And then when you get to college, the track's gone. And then individuals finally get to kind of choose what they want to do and choose what they want to learn. and then that's where you grow as a human being.
Well,
That's when
when-
people flourish.
Yeah, when you say that K through 12 is mainly focused on English, math, some science, what if not everybody's great at English and math?
Yeah.
What then? Like, some people are better at the arts, some people are better at these different things, and when you get to college, you find that out, that you're better at these different things.
And then, like, what you were saying earlier is how people don't have a choice to go to college and whatnot because they can't afford it or whatever reasons. So what if those people are, like, really good at, like, math and really good at those things, but they can't express them because they didn't go to college?
Yeah, or the other way around. You're not good at math or writing, and then you don't ever get the chance to the college experience in science or in these other things like that are like math and English are kind of prerequisites too, but are they really that big of a deal if you want to be
We're stifling people.
a certain thing?
We're stifling
Yeah.
people trying to fit them into boxes that we think are just like useful information. Like I see people say like, when have I used Pythagoras' theorem outside of high school or whatever? And I hate seeing that, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, people were kind of crammed into this box of learning just like this very rigorous itinerary that really is not going to suit them so well.
I'm not going to say that it's wrong to learn those things like I can't say it right now.
Pythagoras.
Damn
it!
I'm too drunk.
Count the Bud Lights. Too many. All right.
That theorem.
A
all
equals B
these
squared.
certain things. I'm not gonna say it's wrong to learn those things, and I'm certain that a lot of people learn that's the route they want to go because they learn those things. But what if our system was kind of more fair towards like everything? And you just learned a little bit of everything until you made your mind up and you're like, okay, this is the thing I want to learn more about. What if in high school, what if up until high school you learn the standardized things, and then in high school you start to decide, I want to learn this, I want to learn that.
I would agree
Why
with
does
that.
it have to happen when it's on your own dime?
Yeah, it shouldn't. I feel like it shouldn't. I feel like we should be able to pick our curriculum way before college. Because, I don't know, really I did kind of like gain a lot of base knowledge with critical thinking. Like some of the things I was forced to take in college really did help me out.
Yeah.
But at the same time I felt like I picked them at my own leisure. Like I wasn't ready for certain things yet. Like I was getting into the swing of things.
So I have a question. Do you, for Jay, as an
for J Money Breezy.
Yeah. You going to school and getting your degree in criminal justice, was it worth it?
No, absolutely not. I wish I could take that away.
You wish that you wouldn't went to college, or you wish that you wouldn't have got a criminal justice degree?
I wish that I had waited. I wish that I had gone out into the world and did stuff and then went to college.
Okay.
I don't think you'd
And
be
then
in the
what-
same position
So
that
I'm
you're in.
gonna ask Cody now too.
Sure.
So you're in school right now. You're going to school
I'm gonna
for.
graduate in a week.
You're graduating in a week, and then we're gonna celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna celebrate.
Celebrating.
I went for
Good
environmental
times. Come on.
public policy.
Okay. And then so you're not graduating stuff, so like you don't know what job or anything that you're gonna have. But as of you right now, you're saying like, yes, school's worth it. Yes, I think school is blah blah.
Yeah.
What's your debt? How much debt are you in?
About like 23.
So
grand.
low, really low amount.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
Still more than that. How do you only have 23?
Government paid for most of mine.
Okay, but no, for real though. Like the math. When you graduated, how much
It
money
was
did you have?
$35,000.
Okay, so then I graduated with a bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in sports management, and I am currently a manager bartender, and I run a small window washing business or whatever, a small business, and I don't need a degree for either one of those jobs. And if I would have, and I graduated, I think when I graduated, I had 51K in debt, I think.
Okay. Just off of you saying that, I don't need a degree for either one of those jobs.
I
Do you
don't.
think that that thought of being able to choose what you want to do before you go to college, before it's on your dime,
Yeah.
and knowing what you want to do in life, would have benefited you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's the main problem when you go to college is you don't know what the fuck you want to do for the rest of your life.
Well, my thing.
I switched majors 3 times.
So I didn't switch majors at all, but I think that like I didn't realize I wanted to be a business owner or be my own boss or whatever. And even now, like I still don't 100% understand. I don't 100% understand what we're doing. I'm just keeping it real. We're making it up as we go and shit, and it's going well.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going cool. Like we're making money and like everything's good. You know, but like in class, like you think of a business administration degree, like why isn't there an entrepreneurship degree?
Because
That's
that's
pretty much
like a
what the
total like
business
just
degree is,
Wild West shit, man.
But I'm saying that should be something that people, because like there's so many entrepreneurs in the world and people who start businesses. Why couldn't I take a class in high school, whatever, where it was like, hey, we're gonna start a fake business, and you're gonna like learn how to pay your taxes, you're gonna learn how to do bankroll, you're gonna learn how to hire employees or fire employees or develop management skills and things like that. I feel like those things are so much more important than like fucking knowing what fucking 5 times fucking 7 is.
That'd be a vocational thing, though.
But I'm
I
just
think like that would be that would be a vocational thing.
entrepreneurship should be a fucking degree, 100%.
It should be, I mean, I think in the same aspect that we're going to teach things in high school, that should be one of the things you learn in high school.
My thing is, I don't regret going to school and getting a degree. What I regret is I could have went to like Ivy Tech or whatever it was and taken and then even now I can still do it and just take a basic, you know, or take accounting classes and take things that have to do with owning a business.
Yeah.
And I wish that when I was 20 years old or whatever, when I was 18 years old going into college, I wish I would have known that I was going to be a small business owner, and I would have been able to really focus in on the classes and stuff that I wanted to. Because I didn't realize I wanted to be a small business owner until like we were running the business for like a year.
Yeah.
Or even longer than that.
We talked about it for a while.
I think that's probably one of the main like conflicts with you in like not feeling like you got the most out of your education, because to be an entrepreneur you don't need education.
You need just like balls.
You just need like
much.
can do, I'm gonna risk this
Yeah.
type of attitude, and like I'm just gonna fucking do it. And that's usually what entrepreneurship
There's some
is.
technical knowledge to it.
Yeah, like it
bookkeeping.
does it help to have a degree in getting, like, if you guys ever want to expand your business to a certain degree, like getting that bank loan or doing certain things?
Having a degree helps with a bank loan?
Absolutely.
I would disagree with you 100% because
I'm sure the bank wouldn't.
yeah, no, every time I go, okay, so like when I went and bought my truck as an example,
have you ever went to a bank and been like, I want $200,000 for my business?
no.
No. And I'm sure they go, he has a degree
They look
in
at your
this.
credit
They
score.
have a degree in this.
No,
Their
they
credits.
say prove
They
it to us.
look at everything.
Okay.
Having a degree is gonna help.
Yeah, but also having my degree puts me at risk because I owe, you know, I don't owe that much now, but I owe, you know, $30,000 in student loans. So they look at your payment that you have to pay, and then they look at like how much money you make and things like that.
But
They look
think
at your
about
credit score.
What would they look at before that? He's got this business. He doesn't have a degree.
But they look at your money.
That's such a more of a
They
hit
look
than
at
it
money.
would be the money's. Why they're gonna say he doesn't have a degree? Does he really know what he's doing?
They look at
Because
income.
that piece of paper tells everybody, I know what I'm doing. I have the consistency and the credibility of this college.
Well, theoretically, you have to fill out like a plan. Like, this is what I want the money for. This is like how much.
You fill out a
you're gonna
business
get back.
plan. That's
Yeah.
what the like when people say like, oh, what's your business plan or whatever. When someone makes a business plan and stuff, it's to present your idea to someone else to where they can see your vision and donate money or whatever.
Yeah.
But for window washing, we didn't have to take out loans because it doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah.
It's very low.
If we wanted to just blanket the entire Fort Wayne area with $200,000 in marketing, though, I'm just trying to imagine what that would be.
Oh my God.
How would we?
Every
I would
billboard.
write us in the sky. Welcome window washing all across Fort
We'd be in
Wayne.
all the urinals.
Yeah, all the girls.
Be like, hey, dude, I peed on you, O'Reilly.
Every other TV ad on the nightly news and radio would just be welcome window washing until we're just like, people like, oh, I probably should.
All right, cool. So let's finish this. We're so getting off topic. All right, so basically everything that we've covered is...
I think the main problem with K through 12 is standardized testing.
Okay.
And funding that goes to schools because of standardized testing.
I
And
agree.
college should be free.
That's,
As Bernie Sanders tried to fucking say, like, it should just be free. It should be...
or
you shouldn't have to pay for
it
knowledge.
shouldn't be... I wouldn't say that it has to be free, but I would say it would be better if it was more affordable for everyone.
It's just like with universal health care, how you're saying it's a right. Knowledge should be a right to the people. And just like, I mean, there's so many nations in the world that, like Germany, you barely have to fucking pay anything to go to college.
In Ireland, to go to, like a university that's funded by the state or whatever, like a public university here, I think it was, I can't remember what the guy said. I think it's like under 2,000 euros.
Which is
a year.
Nothing.
It's like under 2,000 euros a year per student or whatever. Cause
Make it more affordable. Free up the teachers with less stringent curriculum challenges.
Yeah.
And we need to... those are the two main things, I think.
I think one thing that they should focus on too is like the setup of classrooms and stuff. Like,
Modernize them?
yeah. So like rather than like you have like students in a row where you're looking at the back of the heads of other students, you maybe like the desk can go like,
Semicircle.
yeah, semicircle or like wherever to where like you have to look at everyone and interact with everyone, and then that goes to like back to like I watched some movie about like bartending. I can't remember what it's called right now. I watched it on Amazon. It might actually be called like The Bartender or something. But there's a guy who like is like famously known for like developing these bars and stuff, and his main thing that he does is he focuses on where you sit at the bar, you can look at everyone else sitting at the bar. So no bar is straight,
Yeah.
because then you're only focusing on who's in front of you or what's in front of you, not what's around you. So all of his bars are like angled and like circles, or they're like a line, and like, or they're like this, or I'm
Like
making a V.
Like a V, yeah.
They're all to where like no matter where you sit, you're looking at another patron, so you're encouraged to engage with other people. Kind of like where me and Jay were in Colorado. We went to a bar. And they didn't have any regular seating, like 2 tops or 3 tops or 6 tops or 8 tops. They just had 2 tables that were fucking 30 feet long with like 5 or 6 chairs. Everyone had to stand up, and everyone has to hang out with everybody else.
Yeah.
It's great. Everybody was
Interaction with other people is extremely valuable,
Yeah.
and I think that
And it works well for you.
for everyone.
I don't think it works well for
I think it
everybody.
does.
Kaylee Neffler would disagree.
Okay.
She crushed it in that fucking, like, study this, present it to me format. She crushed it in that. And a lot of people do. Like, a lot of people are not sociable like you are. And they just sit there and they just digest the information. And
But
they
what if
Talking
this-
about
what
being
if-
good
What
in
if
life,
the system
though.
was switched to where it did make people comfortable with that situation?
I think everybody should be comfortable in their own skin and with other people, no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah.
Because that system you're
We'd be
talking
better
about,
off, though.
that system you're talking about catered to her,
Mm-hmm.
of just being your lone wolf type fucking person, which that's not what you're gonna be when you get into society.
And I would say it caters. The system that we go in right now caters to people like her, but it excludes people like me. It excludes people like Cody,
Which
Like-
are probably the majority.
which is the majority.
Yeah.
So
So that's why I feel like you end up with, like, the book smart and, like, the actual, like,
street smart.
street smart people. Street smart people are way more abundant than book smart people.
oh yeah, big
They
time.
know how to, I feel like the street smart people know how to use their book smarts to actually help them in life.
Yeah.
Where the book smart people are like, I know this and that, but I don't know how to use it
Yeah.
correctly.
Okay.
All right, well, I feel like we were all over the place
Yeah.
with this podcast.
Take from it what you will.
Whatever. If yeah. Just I would say something like this, like a podcast when we're gonna kind of talk on a subject that like none of us really exactly know what we're talking about. We're gonna kind of be all over and whatever. So
We have minimal experience.
yeah. So
No.
we'll see how it all goes.
We're not
But
teachers.
anyway, I feel like it went pretty well. So this is Cody Pyard,
Whoop!
Jay McClintock,
Ha!
and Shay Scribner signing out. Thank you guys. Make sure you guys like us on Facebook, SoundCloud, follow us on iTunes, all of those fun things. Make sure you're liking and sharing everything. We're trying to be a little bit more proactive with the Facebook page. Keep it going. Thank you guys. Peace.
I love you.